and you're out there looking for some of that dirty love. It's coming your way. But I thought before we got there, we might try to like expand the parameters of passion. So this first poem is about my passion for words. It's called Anatomy. There's a mention in here of Baudelaire. It's Thomas Baudelaire, who was a guy who brought out the family Shakespeare. He went in and sort of like censored Shakespeare so it would be like, PG. So if you're not familiar with him, there's a little hint. Okay, so this is called Anatomy. Naked, with a dictionary, she illumines my afternoon, tracing the etymology of pudenda, a Miller's Tale margin gloss, and finds a new Latin neologism from a root that means to be ashamed. A proto-Baudelaire proxy to subjugate a word derived from Old Latin. Cognitus, cognition, knowing. Adapted in Old French is cont, clever, pleasing. Or quinte in Middle English, known, canny, cunning, or something sounding similar, which she reveals to me on rising. To evidence the only cause for shame lies in the marginal intervention. Okay, all right. I'm going to skip that one then. If that one didn't go over, I'm going to skip that one. We'll just skip right on it right here.
That was great.
Okay, all right. All right, you asked for this is about my passion for books. Okay? This is called Bendy's, and I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but I took this to my critique group, and not a single one of them knew what a remaindered book was. And the only person who knew what a bindi was an Indian woman.
It's a dot on the floor.
So yes, it is. A bindi is usually a red dot that Hindus wear as a religious observance, and it's become degraded over the years. It's become like a fashion statement. So the remaindered book is like a cutout or an overstock. They get the publisher sells all they can, and then they cut the price. So if you ever see something that's like a brand new book, and it's like a quarter of the price, look on the bottom of it, it'll probably have a mark, a red dot or a black dot or some kind of, that's a remainder mark. So this poem is about drawing a correlation between the degradation of the bindi and the degradation of these poor remaindered books. But there's like redemption at the end. And there's, yeah. And my guilty pleasure is, for a guy who would like to be making a living selling books, I buy a hell of a lot of remainders. So, this is called Bindis. It's 4 parts. Age-old insignia, blood-colored third eye, worshipful acknowledgement of inner seeing, love and intellect for bride and groom, identified, desired, taken. Nowadays, fashionably aligned between tapered eyebrows, carefully color coordinated, designer decal, beaded, spangled, felt, or metal, an accessory of soon faded significance, by end of day discarded. A dot of black or red, not red, inscribed on smooth cut edges of white, neatly centered between end boards, the sign of commercial rejection, bindi of the remainder. Open to me, my love, my guilty pleasure. Okay, now this is about my passion for learning. And this didn't really happen, but it might have happened. And if it would have happened, I'd wanted to be prepared. So I was thinking ahead and kind of working it all out. And I didn't need the strategy, but it did give me a poem, so I figured, it was worth it. This is called Lifelong Learning. For the same reason a mischievous child jiggles 2 bugs in a jar, he's paired us on this project. Me and this hair on fire, luscious, just married, sexually unavailable. Not that I fancy the chance with a pert young blonde at this point in life, but age is not our question. It's experience and equanimity of temper. It's knowing enough not to piss off the prof with brash and outlandish assertions, though I'm aware he's baiting me. She, after all, is a graduate student and needs an A to keep her standing. I'm here for a one-time class, trying to not embarrass myself as I knock the rust off. Why pound? Why plaid? Who says Gerald's important? Are you sure Shakespeare's got the biggest balls in the canon? Shut up, shut up, shut up, I plead unspoken, peering out the window at sun borne down on oak in St. Augustine, desperate for distraction. He set us on a sonnet course, the bard's caliber not to be disparaged. The male and female perspective on a dozen he selected. She blusters into the library carol for preliminary discussion, and silently I wonder, shall I compare thee to a summer's day before I recognize my blunder? Thou art the rough winds that shake the darling buds of May. And just in case you've wondered, don't shake them over here, you little tease. Or I won't supply the lines you'll need to save your egg. This is called mulberry season. Better get a drink before I start this one.
Why you getting thirsty?
It's called mulberry season. The jealousy of her nipples I recall, adjudicating equitable stimulation of teeth and tongue, lips and palate. Greedy mulberries calling to the mouth for sampling, always in season. And that's that. Now, this one was written about a woman, and I know this is Montrose, so some of you folks are going to take it a whole different direction, but you know, I've learned to roll with that.
You got to.
Right. Okay, called Abandon. The hint of musk that sometimes erupts when you throw back your arms in passion, like the sin of shit that sometimes escapes when I penetrate your rectum. There's just enough disgust to stimulate a rush of wild abandon.
Short and sweet.
All right. Now this is a poem that's dear to me because this is a poem that saved my life.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was going to a poetry class one night, and one of my classmates was a little bit ahead of me, and I was on the other side of the street. She was hustling down the sidewalk and up the steps to the building to go in. And I stopped to just sort of take in the scene. It's a good thing I did, because otherwise I would have been run over by a car if I'd stepped into the street. So that's why I'm always grateful for this poem. It's called Longing. Tall as she was and thin, I suppose there was no help but that her hips should jostle, a snake in vertical articulation. Long legs smoothly tapered, thigh to knee to ankle. So all I considered was shaving, starting at the bottom, and gliding up the calf, caressing the nape of the knee, sliding gently upward until a finishing stroke inside the thigh trails a rising finger. Yeah, she wouldn't have me, let's say.
She did her part.
Yeah. This is kind of different. This is a poem from a very rough year for someone who was very dear to me at one time. Her father died in June, my mother died in October, and it seemed like all year long both of us were just getting kicked in the guts. And this is a poem about the passion for the comfort of love. It's called Haven. If this erupted year might quell in quietude, not dust, I'd spend a day enclosed in your embrace, a prayer exchanged between our touch, and solace seek in stillness there, whose filaments found were floating, to pull you close and then repair the willing web that binds our love. This is about passion rekindled. It's called Chance Encounter. That unforeseen convergence of timing and coincidence that placed me outside the restaurant window, then across the table from me, set me stirring through our embers. When you wiped away your lipstick, I knew you wanted kisses. Though you stalled, though you shooed me to my appointment, and claimed you needed time to prepare for an interview, the fire had rekindled and stoked that delicious flurry of confusion that rises in your eyes. Don't suppose I didn't notice and leave it there to quicken. This is about physical passion when there ain't nothing else left. It's called Not Again. Oh, it's not as bad as it other. Well, maybe it is, I don't know. Not again. I've grown weary of the emotional train wrecks you engineer to steer excitement into your life. I don't want to hear about your girlfriend or the daughter who mimics your crisis dramas. That's fun. That's what we're good at. I love the light of your eyes and afterglow, our comfort globe embracing. In the shower after, I might wash especially well between your thighs to bring another little shiver. Later on, our favorite tie, and perhaps continue discussing Jane Austen's influence on modern love relations. But let's avoid what your psychologist thinks about your OCD and passive-aggressive manipulations. Let's drive to the restaurant in separate cars. Something else you're good at ditching. This is passion mistaken. This actually did happen. She wouldn't have me either. Wow.
I don't know what they're missing.
This is called Sparks. That spark that arced off the tip of my cock when you stood across the carpet beguiled me to think your lips were electric, even though you just kissed two other guys, all of us in a perfunctory parting way.
Oh, is that?
Actors. Still, I doted on the thought. Extended tendril schemes of finding you alone and unencumbered. Wondered, would you be willing or withdraw, coy, after teasing? Fantasy preoccupied with you coming to dinner, I slide across the carpet to retrieve the fancy silver inside the solid doored credenza. Electricity arcs between my fingertips and metal knob. At just about the distance my cock had been from your zipper. All right. I'm going to finish up with this one, let somebody else have the mic. I've been kind of Homo sapien-centric so far tonight. Neglected vegetable passion, but I'm coming to it just now. This is called Peanut Butter. This is in Harbinger Asylum, an anthology. Peanut butter. I looked at the label on a jar that read, natural peanut butter, and could only wonder, what is unnatural peanut butter? What sort of unnatural acts might it engage in? Consensual mingling with a condiment other than jam or jelly? Slowly slathering the length of a concave celery? Heating things up with pepper sauce? Or draping itself down a banana nestled in a hot dog bun? Incest with cousin almond spread? Being licked off a nipple, being licked off a nipple with chocolate. Voyeurizing mayo and refrigerator rolls with Dijon mustard.
Go.
Masquerading as massage oil and doing it in the closet. Being licked by a cat or wolfed by a dog. Smooth over the skin of ice cream. But enough of imaginary rebels. Let's replace on the shelf this natural spread with his unnatural buttery brother and see what moves he might lay on a natural honey. Creation of Speak Poet. Speak Poet is a new event that I'm producing with Stephen Gross. Our first event will be March the 22nd at River Oaks Bookstore. featuring myself as a moderator, Robin Davidson, and Randy Watson will be the poets. They will each read a short selection from their work, sit down at a table, and talk it over with me. So if you're interested in learning about poetry, how other poets work, what goes on,
That's
how you
nice.
might pick up some tricks, that's what we're there for. March the 22nd. Thank you all very much.